Papa. Today I want to read the second part of the Mittens, the second chapter from a book I wrote about the wonderful people of the North that I knew. If you recall, I was walking along the Moose River on a frigid day to visit Sophia, who had given me a pair of mittens, to ask her if moose hide was waterproof. Before I get into this next part of this chapter, I want to show you a pair of mittens. These are the moose hide mittens about which I wrote. You can see the beautiful beaded embroidery, the beaver skin edging the cuffs, the duffel inside that I described, the wide cuffs which made a seal for my hand, and last but not least, the idiot strings, as I called them when I was a kid, that went around my neck to hold the mittens in place. These were the mittens I wanted to talk to Sophia about. As I got close to Sophia's house, I could see the sagging garage, which had at one time housed, in succession, dog sleds, snowmobiles, and pickup trucks. Now it was an empty space, holding a few garbage bags waiting to be hauled to the dump. I paused at the steps to the side porch. No one on Moose Factory seemed to use a front door. Sophia's was impassable, buried under the thick bank of protecting snow. If I had not seen the house in the summer, I would not have known there was a front door at all. The side porch was hanging a little askew from the house. Supported by corner posts on the ground, its list came from years of frost heaves. The side attached to the house was solid. The side on posts moved up and down, subject to the whims of frost. Two weathered wooden steps led to the door. The door was in the back side of the porch so that winds off the river could not accompany a visitor into the house. Opening away from the house, the door was pulled crooked by its own weight on hinges loosened by swinging open far too wide. Pausing, I realized that I was losing my nerve. This question about the moose hide would seem ridiculous to Sophia. Maybe she would be upset that I had sent away a pair of mittens. Sophia had a keen sense of humor and the freedom to say whatever she wanted to say that only age can give. My hope was that she would explain how to care for moose hide. My fear was that she would not. I opened the porch door, having made the first marks in new fallen snow on her steps. The door swung to its odd hang, and I looked in. On a hook in the back of the porch hung some ptarmigan, undoubtedly a gift from a nephew to show his love and demonstrate his hunting ability. I could imagine Sophia cleaning them at her kitchen table, and I could almost taste that wood stove roasted fowl. Icicles hung from the porch ceiling. Frost covered the walls. Each time the inside door opened, moisture escaped to freeze on the porch walls, forming a cavern-like appearance. I walked up the stairs and knocked on the door. A light green curtain hung in the door window. I could see a form on the other side, so I knew Sophia was there. While I was thinking of how to phrase my question, the curtain pulled back, and there was Sophia smiling at me. Her eyes were shining. She had a broad smile that revealed crooked teeth and two gold caps on the front right. She asked, "Is it you?" "Yes, it's me," I replied. Well, come in. Sophia opened the door, stepping behind it as it swung. You can't stand on the porch blabberskiting on a day like this. You'll freeze. I stepped into Sophia's kitchen in a cloud of frost as frigid air hit moist kitchen warmth. The warmth enveloped me. The cloud dissolved. I felt at home. Underpinnings as ancient as the log walls, but tired from battling frost and flood, were giving a tilt in several different directions to Sophia's kitchen floor. Faded and cracked linoleum covered that floor, emphasizing the undulations. A white porcelain sink with ancient, pockmarked fixtures ran the length of one wall, seemingly supported by a curtain that ran its length, and undoubtedly hiding cleaners and pots and pans. A huge black wood stove with a warming bit above and a water reservoir to the side took up most of another wall. The heat in the kitchen radiated from that stove. A kettle rested on one side of the stove away from the firebox, promising me a warm cup of tea. The other wall was taken up with a yellow wooden table and 4 matching chairs. 3 were usable. The 4th was pinned against the wall behind the table. A red and white checked vinyl tablecloth covered the top. On the wall side of the table sat a vase with plastic roses, a small bowl of sugar, a pair of salt and pepper shakers, and a small picture of Jesus knocking on a door. Sophia shuffled toward the parlor door. She was slightly bent with the weight of age, but mostly she was suffering from arthritis and moving with sensible care. The parlor door framed a new scene. At the window I had passed on my walk, there was another wooden table strewn with sewing materials. Here there were 2 chairs, one on each side of the window. Only now did I realize how Sophia had come so quickly to the door. She had watched my arrival from her window seat and had shuffled to the kitchen door in preparation for my knock. There were 3 other pieces of furniture in the parlor. An overstuffed, wide-armed easy chair sat on one side of the room, covered with a handmade throw. A beautiful mirrored sideboard filled another wall. Toward the center of the room was an oil space heater radiating more warmth. It looked like a tall garbage can with an ornate top. A thin pipe left the top of the heater carrying fumes and smoke. A thinner pipe entered the heater at the bottom, bringing oil to its firebox. The stove pipe went across the room at an upward angle and entered a box to safely carry the heat from the stove through the ceiling. I pondered the wandering stovepipe, having seen it in many Cree homes. It dawned on me that the elongated stovepipe drained off as much heat as possible before expelling smoke into the cold air. Snare wire wrapped around the pipe and twisted to hooks screwed into the ceiling held the entire contraption in place. Sophia motioned toward the second chair at the table as she settled into her chair by the window. I sat down. Immediately she began to bead. Her gnarled hands deftly plucked tiny beads off the table with a needle, sliding them onto a thread in one smooth motion. The needle flashed through a piece of moose hide, securing one more line to an intricate colored flower. The flower was identical to the one on my mittens and on those that I had sent as a gift. I hope you'll join me as I read the 3rd part of the Mittens from One Man's Mile. Have a good day and love one another.